Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes as we get things going this Friday afternoon. I figured I'd wait until most of the weather models were done, the new model cycle run. I really didn't see too much change since yesterday. There's been a slight increase in precip, but not really a lot, and also the cold air may be a bit more stubborn, but we want to emphasize only a bit more stubborn. So I didn't see anything that warranted any big changes in terms of the outlook. So we're going to get what we're going to get for tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. It's going to come through quickly. It's 4 to 6 hours of precip. It'll be snow, a burst of snow. And really, it's going to depend on what the radars look like tomorrow morning. I think that's when we'll finally get a good idea of where this all plays out. So let's start looking at a few of the maps that we have out there today. Sorry about that. So we'll start off with the uh, Weather Prediction Center's 24-hour probability of at least 2 inches of snow. And you can see the blue indicates a 50% probability. That's fairly high, and that kind of noses down into southeastern Pennsylvania. And it sort of cuts off now a bit in and around Harrisburg, south and west. And I think this reflects, how the models are seeing the radar presentation for tomorrow. That might be a little bit pulled a little bit too far north. If I switch it over to the probability of at least an inch, you can see that to about New York City, we have an 80% probability of at least an inch of snow, running from about northern Delaware down into northeastern Maryland, back west of Philadelphia, but not quite to Harrisburg. Seems to include Lancaster in here, and York County. I know a number of you are watching from south central Pennsylvania and north central Maryland. And then on northeastward, this is for 1 inch. And here's your probability of at least 2 inches. And now your probability for at least 4 inches. And that seems to be concentrated in a small area, about a 30 to 40% chance in northeastern Pennsylvania, northwest New Jersey, and then higher amounts as you head up the Hudson Valley. Once you go north of Route 84, you start to get into those higher numbers with regards to a probability of 4. Now, we are seeing the beginnings of winter weather advisories and winter storm watches that are up for parts of the area from Virginia on up into New England. I suspect that the Weather Service will be filling in the blanks here later this afternoon. And where the storm is going to perform quite well in terms of snow, blizzard warnings up for the eastern Dakotas, western Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, winter storm warnings up for the rest of Minnesota into parts of Wisconsin. And then you have a rather large area of winter weather advisories that run from the middle Mississippi Valley through the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. Now, the first key to this is going to be where our temperature is going to wind up Saturday morning. And that is important because it's about the cold air that is overhead. And certainly you're feeling it today. Temperatures are not going to get out of the 20s this afternoon in many areas. And we'll be down in the teens to near 20 tomorrow morning at daybreak. And you head up north and you're looking at single digits up the Hudson Valley and on up into interior Connecticut and through Massachusetts. These areas are going to have a tough time seeing a change over to rain out of this. The surface map this midday, our storm that moved off the New England coast really wrapped up there, a 9.67 low that is south of Newfoundland, bringing snow, blizzard conditions, and very, very strong winds to the Canadian Maritimes. And of course, we're still seeing some gusty winds here, but that high is now beginning to press in. So look for the winds to continue to ease as we go through the afternoon. Now, here's the latest NAM snowfall forecast map. Now, this is where we are inside 24 to 36 hours. I think these maps are a little easier to use, and we don't really have a lot of sleet or freezing rain involved to skew these numbers up. So I think this really matches up pretty well with what I'm predicting here. So here's my wide view. I went a little beefier up in northern Pennsylvania, southwestern New York, and also up the middle and upper Hudson Valley and in through northern Connecticut and Massachusetts. That's where you're going to wind up with about 4. And you can see where I have the 1-inch line extending southward, north and west of Washington and Baltimore. And I do have a 2-inch line running up toward Harrisburg. I'm going to leave these numbers alone for now. I don't like changing forecasts going back and forth with every single model run. This is what I came up with yesterday. This is what I'm going for, and I'm gonna leave things alone. So 1 to 2 inches between the red line and the purple line, and 2 to 3 inches going north and west of there. And I think the northwestern counties of New Jersey into northeastern Pennsylvania, and then on up the Hudson Valley, wind up with greater amounts. And then along the immediate coast, that really hinges on that cold air. If it's stubborn enough, it'll be a coating to 1 inch, maybe a little bit more. We'll see if there's going to be room for any kind of upside here. So just back to, let's go back to the NAM model and run through what the surface is going to look like so we can figure out some timing issues here. And here we have, see, here's the problem on how the NAM looks at this. You've got this stick of snow that runs out ahead, and that comes through. This is at 11 o'clock. I'm sorry, this is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that lead batch is over New York City and northern New Jersey, but then you've got a bit of a break. The GFS model actually has that area more filled in as far as its view of the radar is concerned. And then you get the second area that moves eastward, interacting with some of that remaining cold air. We are now at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, where it's still showing it as snow in northern New Jersey and over Long Island and points north, and lighter snows back through eastern Pennsylvania, a little bit of sleet in there. By 7 o'clock, you're starting to see that change to rain along the coast, but mostly snow up to the north. And then by 8 or 9 o'clock, it all moves out and it's done. So again, I'm fairly confident here with respect to what I've got for numbers. I'm not going to really change it very much. As I said, unless there's a radical change in what the models are doing, this is what it is what it is, as the old saying goes. So tonight at 7 o'clock, the Joe and Joe Weather Show on my YouTube channel, so be sure to tune in for that. You can check out all the latest National Weather Service snow forecast maps on my free weather app, the Meteorologist Joe Cioffi Weather app on Google Play or on the App Store, or Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman. And again, those apps are free, and those snow forecast maps automatically update whenever the Weather Service updates them. And we have on my app, we have every single snowfall forecast map from the Carolinas all the way up through upstate New York and all through northern New England, along with some corresponding radars, so you can follow your own local radar as well. All right, have a great afternoon. Try and stay warm on this very cold day, and we will see you later.